Hi guys, my name is Mehak, and today we're going to be talking about Intro to Pandas. What is Pandas? Pandas is a data manipulation package in Python for tabular data. That is, data in the form of rows and columns, also known as data frames. Intuitively, you can think of a data frame as an Excel sheet. Pandas functionality includes data transformations like sorting rows, taking subsets to calculating summary statistics, such as the mean, reshaping data frames, and joining data frames together. Pandas works well with other popular Python data science packages like NumPy, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. What is Pandas used for? Pandas is used throughout the data analysis workflow. With Pandas, you can import datasets from databases, spreadsheets, comma-separated values, files, and more. You can clean datasets, for example, by dealing with missing values. You can tidy datasets by reshaping their structure into a more suitable format for analysis. You can aggregate data by calculating summary statistics, such as the mean of columns, correlation between them, and more. You can visualize datasets and uncover insights. Installing and setting up Pandas. Installing Pandas is straightforward. You just have to use the pip install command on your terminal. So here in my Jupyter notebook, I have the pip install pandas command, and if I just run it, it's gonna say requirement already satisfied. And to begin working with pandas, you have to import pandas as PD. But PD is an alias, a very common alias for pandas. We can import different types of data from pandas. So we can import CSV files, text files, Excel files, and JSON files. So to import CSV files, we use pd.read underscore CSV with the file path. So over here, I'm gonna use the file path that I have on my desktop. So it's Pokemon data.csv, and I'm just gonna read it dot head, and I get this. And to import text files, it's very similar to CSV files, but you have to include a delimiter because it's the separator argument. So for example, if I show you the text file here, the delimiter over here is a comma. So you have to mention that. And when you do that, you get this. And to read an Excel file, you can just do pd.read underscore Excel, and it will, and same for the JSON file. These are the four files that we have. You can also output data to pandas. So for example, you can so over here, I've created, in my CSV file, I've created a new column, and then I'm just outputting it. So you can do to underscore CSV, and I've outputted it. And you can see that in over here, it's created a new file, updated Pokemon data.csv. I can do the same for the text file, create a new column, like dummy column placeholder, .to CSV, and then you just give the file path. Same for the Excel file, added a category called example and the JSON file. So I have all of my new files over here. We can take a look at the text file. Yeah, so we have a new column placeholder. Yeah. Viewing and understanding data frames in pandas. You can view the first few rows or the last few rows of a data frame using .head. So I'm gonna read the CSV file again as Pokemon, and then I'm gonna show you the first. So if you do Pokemon.head, you get the first 5 rows, and if you do .tail, you get the last 5 rows. You can use the .describe method to show summary statistics. So you can see the count, the mean, the count of the HP, count of attack, defense, the mean, the quantiles. You can also slice and extract data from pandas. So you can isolate a single column using singular square brackets. This doesn't give you a column, it gives you a series. If you wanted the column, you could use double square brackets and you would get a column. You can also do multiple columns by just adding whatever column name you want. So for example, I can add attack also, and I would get a column. You can also isolate a row. using this, but you have to mention the index because you have to give the row labels. Otherwise, it will give you a column. And you can isolate two or more rows using range. So this is from range 2 to 10, which gives you which gives you from the second column till the ninth column, I think. Yeah. So if I wanted to see the first column as well, I would just make it 1. We can also do conditional slicing. So for example, if you want to look only for the Pokemons that have attack greater than 50, we could do this. Or if we wanted to look at Pokemons that had speed, speed greater than 10, we could do that too. You can also add or replace a column. So you can use dot assign. You can use dot assign to add or replace a column. So over here, we're assigning a column called total, where we're adding the HP, the attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. So all of the values that we have, and we're assigning it to a column called total. So if you do that, you get a new column at the end called total with all of these values added up. You can also drop a column. So if you use Pokemon.drop columns equal total, so over here it's dropping the column total. And we can look at the head of that, and the column total is dropped. We can reset the index and set the index. On that reset index, I would get name as the column, so I would just reset the index. But if I do Pokemon.set underscore index to say type 1, it would set the index to type 1. I can also sort the values. So if I wanted to sort the values by, let's say, attack, I would get so ascending equals false. So it's doing it in descending order. So it will go from the biggest to the smallest. But if I just wanted to do it in ascending, I could give it true, or I could just remove the entire ascending um attribute itself because it would just default to true. So here, do that, and it goes from lowest to highest. Dealing with missing values in Pandas. So data cleaning is one of the most common tasks in data science. Pandas lets you pre-process data for any use, but included but not limited to training, machine learning, and deep learning models. So you can deal with missing values also in Pandas by dropping missing values or replacing missing values. You can remove all duplicate rows from the data frame using drop duplicates. And you can also rename columns using the dot rename method. Another thing you can do in Pandas is get a row or a column by integer position or by index position using lock or ilock. So for example, if I wanted to get so ilock is using the integer position, so this will give me the first row. So if I print that, I would get the first row. And if I wanted to use locate, I would set the index to name first, and then I would locate using Bulbasaur. You can also do a group by, so you can aggregate a column by its type. So for example, over here, I've grouped the entire data frame by the type 1. So bug, dog, dragon, etc. These are all the types that we have. And essentially it's given me group by dot mean. So it's given me the mean of all of the columns as well and with regards to type 1. You can also plot things in Pandas. So over here I've plotted a histogram of the HP, and you can see that the density is 2 and the bins are 10, and we can see the frequency of the Pokemon HP for each level. Thank you so much.